Waiting for our boxing guests. I'm going to check right now if they are available for us so we can get through this boxing story, because this week we're celebrating just recently the minister announcing a new board, but now that's being challenged by the court. Being told they are ready. Okay. Can we go to that story right now? The sport of boxing has found itself in headlines for the wrong reasons. Once again, the Pretoria High Court ruled Sports Minister Zizi Kodwa did not follow due process in appointing the board for Boxing South Africa. To bring some context to the situation, Mr. Ayanda Matiti, who is part of the National Professional Boxing Promoters Association, quite a mouthful, which lodged the complaint against the sports minister, joins us now via Teams as well. Sir, if you can hear me, there you are. What exactly did the minister not do? Thank you so much for your time, firstly, but what exactly did the minister not do?
Well, evening to the viewers. The minister did not do a very simple thing to consult with the leadership of the National Promoters Association. You would remember that the minister derives authority to appoint the board from Section 9 of the Act, subsection 2. The minister elected to deal with the aspect of the section, the aspects that talks to his authority of appointing the board, but he omitted to look at the obligations that comes with it. So we merely reminded the minister before we went to court to say, look, defer your appointment of the board, because there's something that constitutes a fault line with your process. And the minister disregarded our communication. Then we're left with no option but to go to court. We went to court for two reasons. Part A was for the court to interdict the assumption of office from the board members that the minister has announced. But part two, for the court to correctly examine so that as the South African boxing fraternity, we will never find ourselves in this crisis again. Examine and make a determination. What does the act mean when it says consult? And whether or not the minister had followed that act to the latter. So that's why we find ourselves in the problem we're in today.
So would you have been happy? So the issue is not the board that he selected, is that he didn't consult you guys. Just for the layman who's watching this, who doesn't understand exactly the constitution of Boxing South Africa. So you're not unhappy with the board, you're just unhappy with the way that it was appointed.
Well, the context and the stage we're at now does not permit us to talk to the outcome. We're still dealing with the process. Remember, the Act compels the minister to engage with the players, people that are in the space. And if the minister had have done that meaningfully, and I must insist on the word, be in limbo, because we will obviously take the minister in confidence so that we examine the space that he finds ourselves into, because ministers come and go, and we are always here. We've been here, we've conceived boxing, we've been part of the space. But ministers are appointed, are acting at the behest of the president. We don't know what will happen tomorrow. So it's important to any minister that comes to take the oath of office very seriously and look at the compelling legislation that gives rise to his power. We're merely reminding the minister.
All right, I understand. Well, since it's everyone's best interest to obviously make the sports healthy, which is Boxing South Africa, to get it, to a healthy position. The previous board was heavily criticized. Which issues do you believe could have been improved, and which ones do you hope they will be improved by the incoming board should they be reinstated?
Well, as I've said, we can't discuss without passing this hurdle. Okay. The outgone board was heavily criticized by a particular section, some with an invested in a particular agenda.
Does this mean you were happy with the previous board? Were you happy
well,
as an organization, not you personally, but the people you represent, were you then happy with the previous board?
No, we had issues. In fact, with our own board, there's been drastic decisions and steps that we have taken in improving boxing from where we were seated. However, that's not the issue. The debate must not be on there. We must look at the conduct of the minister, because making a mistake of wanting to compare the outgone and the incoming without addressing the fundamental issue, because my assumption is that you do have the court order, and we must examine as well what would constitute, if for example, there would have been a person that would have been suspended in the organization, the outgone board lives on the 11. What informs this hush of a board, of board members that have not even met one another, of board members that have not even received a handover from the outgone board? You will suddenly hear a minister pronouncing that he's happy about, because the minister spoke after the court order on a Thursday. He is happy about, he notes that the board has been interdicted, but he's happy about the decision of lifting the suspension of the director of operations. Now, it should puzzle South Africans. Has the minister read the order? Because the order is about the board being interdicted. It can't convene meetings, it can't take decisions that it would have taken are of nullity at the point when the court arrived at a decision. So you wonder whether is the minister being ill-advised, or is the minister consciously deciding to again run into a pothole of being in contempt of court.
I understand what you mean, sir, but the reason I bring up if you are happy with the way you were happy with the previous board is because you're saying there was a section that was unhappy with them. So I just want to understand where you are. I understand you're saying that this should not be a debate about the previous board and the previous board, but you're the one who brought it up by saying there was a section that was unhappy with the previous board. It was not everybody. So I just want to understand where you guys stand, because the reason I bring it up is because there were athletes who were complaining about cancelled bouts, etc., especially the women. So I'm asking for you, as somebody who also works in that space very closely, if you were happy with the conduct of the previous administration.
Well, you must also remember that people are not happy about the decision we have taken. We are not happy about the decision of the minister. Others are happy about the decision of the minister to appoint a board disregarding the act. So the unhappiness and happiness can only be entertained if it falls within the ambit of the law. There would be cancellation. People speak from the point of view of ignorance. There would be cancellations of events or boxing tournaments. And there will still be those in the near future. It's a global phenomenon. Events are cancelled when some of the things are unable to be met at the time. Promoters are events organizers. They organize boxing. They must look for funding, not Boxing South Africa board. That's not the responsibility of the board to look for funding. It's the responsibility of events organizers, promoters. So there would be either a commitment here or there, and it is either fulfilled or not fulfilled. So we may have to then say to the minister, we are owed a convention in the context of the boxing landscape, so that we have licenses under one roof, so that we share with the minister the challenges that we go through. Currently, the minister has deprived himself of that particular responsibility. I can, without a shadow of doubt, say we extended an invitation between ourselves and the minister to have a meeting, and we itemized issues long before the minister appointed the board. And at the time, in fact, on the 28th of November, we had a scheduled meeting with the minister. And on the 24th or 23rd, the minister issues a media alert saying he will be announcing the board to South Africans on the 28th. And it does not talk to us and say, I have decided unilaterally to cancel the meeting that I have scheduled by my office with you. But two, it then appears that this juvenile conduct is in the doorstep of the minister, because his senior counsel on the 11th, they say we will consult with the minister because we are not ready. We are court. We will get the minister to make an undertaking that the board will not resume office up until the court deals with Part A and finalize it. They have an engagement between their counsel and our counsels, and that is then made a court decision. The minister in the evening, unilaterally outside of court, revokes that undertaking. And if you do that, it then means acting outside of the ambits of the law. And the court had then to take a decision that if the intention was silly from the point of view of the minister and those who are advising him, they wanted at the time we go to court on Wednesday to say, no, the train has already left the station for Part A, because Part A would have dealt with the board either resuming office or not. So if I've made an undertaking, but the board have resumed office, the court, that decision of the court would be mute or academic. The court had then to affirm its authority to say, you can't say that the train has left the station out of your own conduct of undermining this court. That is what led to the court arriving to a determination to say that board and its decisions would have been illegal.
I got you, sir. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Ayanda Mtiti, who speaks on behalf of the National Professional Boxing Promoters Association. Thank you so much for your clarity and joining us right here on Sports Live.